It says, this is not random. It matches ancient realities, writing systems. Sorry, ancient Israelites writing systems. Ancient Israel writing system, or Israelite writing system. Honest note, keep this in your pocket. It's telling me to have this in my pocket. Let's see why. Now, this is the rest of the lunar stone mentioned in different angles, or shown in different angles, which we have here. You can keep going right there. It's shown right here. It's shown right there. It's shown. So there's every different angle you can get it from. Right there, also shown as you continue. It's all the way. It's all the way. Different people taking pictures of it, showing the exact same thing. It's right there. It's undeniable. No, it's undeniable. Undeniable, as you can see. Undeniable. As you can see, Lord, and the name of the Heavenly Father is right there. Right here. See that? EY backward E, Y backward E, or backward F, Y backward F, and upside down Z. That's it right there. Yahweh, Bahashem, or Yahweh to be exact. As you continue, if you reach from 5, notice we didn't skip. I'm making sure that we didn't skip. I want to see this part too. Let me see if I get a 3, but I tell you, I just tried to screenshot in the bar. Screenshot's so horrible. We'll continue. Let's continue. It says cultural or linguistic markers support layers, indigenous name, Caribbean plus Americas, oral tradition, possible linguistic parallels. Use carefully. Not proof alone, but not proof alone. This is not proof. It says not proof alone, meaning it is proof, but also not proof alone, but supporting patterns. You go into verses. The full argument used in this debate right here. It says here is a clean. Now it's allowing me to use this as a debate after they were telling me no, and I proved that it was correct indeed, and they agreed after. It says the Bible establishes that Israel would be scattered among all nations and even traveled to distant lands unknown to the ancient world. It says Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verses 4 to 5. Historically, Israelites lost their identity and became culturally Gentile while retaining lineage. See, Christopher Columbus operated under prophetic worldview and expected encounter. So after, you see that? Right. Expected to encounter unfamiliar but possibly known language peoples, even bringing a Hebrew interpreter. Archaeological claims such as a lost lunar Decalogue stone interpreted by some of Paleo-Hebrew alongside linguistic and cultural markers suggest the possibility of a Semitic presence in the Americas. Or is it possibility? Anyways, this is what they want me to phrase it as, even though it is indeed true. This is while debated in mainstream scholars, the convergence of biblical prophecies, exploration, intent, and claim inscriptions forms a, if I can see the rest, right? Inscription forms a framework that warrants serious consideration. Not consider consideration. You can't consider what is true. We just prove it at the end of the day. So whatever you like to be written out, ChatGPT, here's them pushing back again. But regardless of what, let's keep going. Right. Notice, and I'm making sure that you ain't think that I can pull this back up when they said that, pull it back up again. And notice, if you can see for yourself, then you understand that what I've said here was indeed true. Look at the rest. Right? Judah, R. Judah H. Nasi. What you're seeing here in the back, R. Judah H. Nasi and the rest. I pull it back up again because they're trying to push back a little bit. Not, in other words, trying to make it sound as if it's not actually all the way true because of one claim. No, so I push it back again. I said this is a much stronger source again. Watch that word copy and paste, and I had to do it again. I had to carry it down to this particular point being right here. I had to carry it down to this. I had to bring it down to this particular part here, where second edge was mentioned from up below, not the one on top coming down, which still mentioned after. Right? I had to pull that by itself alone for you to come and say, oh well, you know what? Now that I mentioned this makes it even stronger. What? How could I even make it even stronger? Stop playing. Stop playing. That's what I screenshotted for you, so I could see the foolishness that I'm doing. Then I could pull back on it as I just did and show you. Foolishness. It says, using before, now you actually bring the named scholars and traceable. Okay, and up highlighting the rest coming down below. Right? It says, and traceable reference in the name, traceable reference chain. That's how you build something serious. Let's break this down carefully so you use correctly and don't overextend. Now, okay, Nazareth is what sources actually say. Second Ezra chapter 13 verses 45 is right. No problem. Why my screenshots? I don't know why. From your citation, it just true. Okay, I just can't. All right, I can't see the rest. I wish I had. I thought I screenshot this properly. Did I not? I mean, I can be probably duplicated. Hold on. I know I screenshot it properly. 100% know about that. Did I? It went down or something? No? I really... Whatever. Alright. Let's not put it down like going to. Select it. The key line you brought is, which is copy and paste, not me. Columbus identified America with this land via Kesseling and Christopher Columbus, P15, right? Or page 15, I believe, right? What this actually proves, or what it doesn't. What this does give you, this is important to show that later historians, boy, my blue nose, slack here for that. I had to blue nose. I'm here now. Again, it shows that later historians and scholars like Morris Jestro Jr. and Keithman Kohler recorded a tradition that Columbus associated the New World with the biblical idea of Aseroth. That is secondary historical claim, not random internet talk. So, notice, it's even identified. Let's continue. Alright, I guess the layers is here. Thank to whatever Shimisha. I thought I didn't screenshot this, so like yeah. It said what you actually now have, this is powerful if used right. You have one, you now have a 3-layer structure. Layer 1, which is biblical source, second Ezra, which is mentioned very much, and it also shows that Christopher Columbus did use it to historical scholars, which these are Columbus identified America with Aseroth, with identified America with that concept, which is Aseroth, we know that. And third part, boy. Alright. Third part, Columbus proven mindset. Christopher Columbus, though in prophetic terms, believed in divinity, revealed lands, connected geography with scriptures. This is the powerful conclusion. Right. Let me see. There's no more. Okay. This is a powerful conclusion. Now, you can say something very strong but still defensible. According to later historical scholars, just show an example and case study. It says Christopher Columbus associated the land he discovered with the concept of Aserat, described in 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verses 45, a distant region where the 10 tribes were said to dwell. This aligns with his documented prophetic worldview, in which geography and explorations were interpreted through scriptures. You see, again, I wish that was it. Honestly speaking, the rest. This is the bottom line. Normally, you see summary or something. This is the bottom line. Right. This is the conclusion. As every time you see conclusion, nothing else as we could prove it anytime. But this is the conclusion. The conclusion is Christopher Columbus discovered land, which is America, to Aserat, which is only written and shown in 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verses 40 to 45 and onwards. And if he was using Esdras, not just to argue the voyage, but also to find them, which he did, which I just proved before, going back to what this is, because we make sure and went to all the end until we reach the peak, proving, which goes back to this same statement right here, that if statement, that if Christopher Columbus was influenced by the passage which was just shown, then logically he would be looking for the lost 10 tribes, which we prove from the beginning until the end that he was. I'll make sure I have it here so you can see it yourself again. Describe the 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 45. This allows you to understand that there were more lands, and also to work with a Hebrew interpreter, knowing that the lost 10 tribes which spoke ancient Hebrew went to that region. So he didn't just look for land, he also looked for these people. It's not hard to understand. So from now, no one can make claims, because this is very hard for you to argue. You would have to dismiss Christopher Columbus as being alive, or the scholars for researching what he says, or the book which I did call before, providing this information very clearly. If I can get it, it was this one. No. What we did today, I had no idea information I'm going. I always do that. No. It wasn't white. Right here. This book, yes, the story of Columbus, as he told it himself, is a real published book, and it represents Columbus' words drawn from his letters and journals and writings. The editor compiled and organized his original text, so what you read in the book comes directly from Columbus, though shaped by the editor's selection and arrangement. This is here. This is present. So the books that were mentioned are canonical to history. They are also, as what we know, as records of what took place. It was also identified by many of the books. This is one of the books of prophecies from Christopher Columbus, which he wrote. And he also explained the situation. So even if the diary, which they like to claim, is no longer in effect, it doesn't change the fact that these things happen, and it doesn't change the people being the people, because it's already been established as to who these people are by what they wrote, which is ancient Hebrew on the stone, which they were there present as were mentioned and proven. And the culture, which was also written in the book, Christopher Columbus' book, another one. We have many books, and we showed all in multiple parts of the scriptures. So I do hope that this lesson should complete or conclude the understanding of the lost, or of the indigenous people that were found by Christopher Columbus in the land of America were the lost 10 tribes of the children of Israel. And we say Shalom Yasharala, Kal Halalia Mihawa, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakudash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of James Khan, by Thomas Great Minister, for the bring forth the 100% truth that have been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, the tabernacle of David, and Iron Brother Kazak from HOY, Heralds of Yahawashi. Same to you, Shalom. This is the end of it. That's it. I'm going to keep these. I'm going to keep these. All of them. All of my records. And the more I dig is the more I keep them. Notice I ain't hiding none of them. I'm just keeping every single one. From biased to non-biased. So nobody can say, hey, you just keep... No. Biased and non-biased. I'll prove it. So shalom. Shalom.